Peace, love, and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Get This Wisdom Live. I am, of course, your host, Shakti Sterner, also the editor in chief of Get This Wisdom magazine. And it's been a while. However, before we go any further, I always provide my disclaimer and let the audience know this is a family friendly platform. I am a stay at home mother. I have children. They're here. And you may hear what children do in the background. You may even hear me talk to my daughter. You may hear her ask some questions. My youngest daughter, she's autistic. And sometimes she does what autistic children do, like she's about to do right now. However, you know, let's not allow that to deter us from tonight's message. Again, like I said, it has been a while, and given my daughter is beating her stick, given that I am a mother, a stay at home mother, there are some things that, of course, require my immediate attention. So I do ask for your forgiveness if it does take me a little time in between getting new content and episodes out to you all. Okay, that was a mouthful, right? So we don't have any guests tonight, other than my daughter and the beating of her stick. We have no guests for tonight's episode. This is just me. And earlier, was having discussions and such with my father, and I felt compelled to do this episode tonight, as it is entitled "The Tale of Two Americas." And if you saw the social media flyer, the promo flyer, we have Harvey Weinstein. Woo. We have Bill Cosby, and we also have R. Kelly on the flyer. So that should be a little bit telling of what the dialogue is going to be about tonight. Let's get right to it. Okay, so I guess I'll go into revealing somewhat of my age. I was born in 1987, so that means the majority of my growing up and my childhood happened in the 90s, the early 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, and 2000s, and so forth. And I can remember when there were shows on television that depicted the Black family structure in a positive manner. Um, we have little shows like Sister Sister. We had the Family Matters. We had, you know, so many different shows that depicted the Black family structure in a more positive manner. One of those shows that was the catalyst for that happens to be the Cosby Show, and we know on the Cosby Show we had Clifford Huxtable or Cliff Huxtable. We had the rest of his family, Yeah, Felicia Rashad playing his wife. We had the Theos. We had the she's throwing her stick. We had the Theos. We had the Denises. We had the little Rudies, and so many others that grace that show. And we know that Bill Cosby played the role of Cliff Huxtable and after, and then the wife was, I believe, a lawyer. Don't quote me on that. But either way, they showed functional Black family that was successful, and children going to college, just showing the Black family in a very positive light. And as you know, currently, when we look at television, there aren't too many shows like that anymore. However, we still have the ability to go into nostalgia and watch um, the the shows that help give us a more meaning, a more positive manner to look at the black family in. So for Bill Cosby, he had a very an illustrious career outside of that show. The I Spies and stuff like that. And he was, you know, known for, or is known for, going around speaking at the HBCUs and, lecturing and just trying to provide a different level of information for the public to take in. He became a very, very, very powerful, influential man in the black community. Everybody knows the Cosby Show. Everybody knows Bill Cosby. Everybody knows the Huxtable family, the different worlds that come from that. We all know this. So this is like a staple. This is like a cultural icon, if you want to call him that, which I will. So a few years ago, it became a big old public thing, a public debacle. There was all these allegations against Bill, and the most of these allegations came from white women, who professed that 20 years or so prior, Bill Cosby drugged them and then proceeded to, you know, uh, interact with them on a sexual manner in a way that they didn't ask for, basically citing rape allegations and all this other crazy stuff, right? So mind you, keep those numbers in mind. 20 years ago. Now, like I was telling my father earlier, I was born in 87. However, the information from the decades of the 70s and 60s, 50s, even 80s, so much is out there. So I was able to, research the climate back in the 70s and so, or so, and in Hollywood, and even not in Hollywood. The drug use was everywhere, everywhere. That's when the drugs were introduced into the black community and so many other things. So if we can imagine how accessible these drugs, in whatever form you want to, call them, heroin, crack, cocaine, pills, whatever, was so accessible for those in the communities to get them. You can only imagine how those in Hollywood had even more access to these things with more money. So, granted, I wasn't there. None of us were. Yet and still, if I am to use my logical brain, of course, with recorded facts and recorded information and occurrences from back then, if these white women were in fact under the influence of drugs, you and I both know that they took those drugs willingly. He did not have to spike their drinks, slip a roofie, or none of that. They were taking the drugs under their own cognizance and accord. And if there were sexual interactions being had, they were very much in consent of such. Bill Cosby does not have to rape women. First off, Bill Cosby has a wife. He has Camille. So let's go there. But even outside of him being married, he was Bill Cosby, one of the most popular men around that time. So women were lining up to throw him their panties. And that's just what the fact of the matter is. So when Bill Cosby, he gets brought up on these charges and it's all in the media. They're trying to destroy this man's whole legacy. And he goes to jail. And Bill Cosby stays in there for a little while. However, his legal team continuously worked on his case, and they were able to find a discrepancy in the case on behalf of the court system. Yeah. So Bill Cosby eventually gets released. And my personal belief on that, Bill Cosby got Bill Cosby money. So they were not going to keep Bill Cosby behind bars. They just weren't going to be able to do that. So he gets out, and there are mixed reviews about it. But for the most part, the black community is happy to see one of our cultural father figure icons back as a free man among society, when we know that the cases that were brought up against him were completely, they were filled with falsehoods. Because why didn't all those women speak about it when it first happened? If it was such a traumatic experience that they went through, why didn't they go to the police 20 something years ago? Why wait 20 years later? That don't make sense. And now we're looking at another cultural icon to the black community, Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly, or as we all know him to be, R. Kelly. Now, again, I said I was born in 87, so I grew up in the 90s, but I also was a teenager in the beginning of the 2000s. And I can remember when you know, the video, the infamous video that everyone knows about first came out, and everybody and their mama was rushing to see the video, and there were different reports about whether that was him or if it's his brother, whatever. So charges get brought up on R. Kelly. Then he beats the case. However, there are so many whisperings going around. He had an underage marriage to the singer Aaliyah. All praises due. Rest in peace to Aaliyah. Um, he had a secret marriage to her. She's an underage girl. And so many other stories are coming out. So in the last few years, they they put the documentary out, Surviving R. Kelly, and there are all these women who at some point definitely benefited from their relationships with R. Kelly, including his wife, Andrea, or ex wife, or whatever she claims to be now. They're saying all these just terrible things about R. Kelly. You know, he's hog tying people, he's a part of a sex cult. It was just a whole bunch of very disturbing news that was presented to R. Kelly. About R. Kelly, I should say. And firstly, let me say this. I do not advocate pedophilia. I do not advocate the the sex with a minor child. I do not advocate sex that isn't consensual amongst adults. So this is not that. Don't take my words and twist them to fit your narrative. But let's just go deeper into it. So according to the documentary, and even before the documentary, it was known or shared that R. Kelly himself had became a victim of pedophilia when he was a child by an older family member, some female family member. I want to say a sister, but I could be wrong. This is my thing. When it comes to the black and white community, whenever a white person has done something immoral or has committed an act of crime, it's always the first thing we hear in the news, this person suffers from mental illness. So they want us to have some level of empathy for the whites that do these things. However, when it comes to the black community that may commit similar acts of crime, if you want to call it that, there is no empathy shown. There is no era of understanding shown. Um, the black people, particularly black men, are always labeled uh, thugs and monsters, criminals, and I must bring up our web series from years ago. They are men, not monsters. Um, why isn't the same level of empathy shown towards black men and the black community overall when we, those of African descent in this country, have suffered so much mental turmoil, mental trauma, mental anguish, right? We're not giving any level of empathy, sympathy, or anything like that. We're blamed for the conditions that were made for our demise. We did not make these we did not make these environments. We did not create these things. The drugs, we know where they come from. They were implanted in the black community and so many other things. The lack of mental awareness, the lack of resources for mental healing, the lack of proper health care for blacks in the black community, um, the lack of financial opportunity, of advancement, the lack of proper education. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on about how much the black community has suffered, and nobody seems to care about that. So when we look at the Harvey Weinsteins, Harvey Weinstein, right, who definitely has he's convicted now, so he was doing what he was doing. The court found him guilty. But Harvey Weinstein has touched so many people out there in Hollywood, it's not even funny. Like, it's like he damn near touched, pardon my language, everybody that came before him for some type of job. Like, the man was a complete ruthless monster. If you want to define a monster, if you want to look up what a monster looks like, it should be a big old picture of Harvey Weinstein right there. So, of course, they did find Harvey Weinstein guilty, and they gave him, I believe it's 17 years. Please do your research to confirm that number. Whereas R. Kelly, who whose situation is a little bit more delicate, got charged with a 30-year prison sentence. Now, as I said, R. Kelly was known to have had instances as a child where he was sexually molested and taken advantage of. Nobody thought to get R. Kelly any type of help or counseling. And even as he got older and all these reports are coming about how he's this leader of a sex cult, kidnapping women, keeping them against their will. Let's go into the facts. Like I was telling my father, and no, again, I don't condone anything. And let me say this before I do go into my next statement. A man of R. Kelly's influence and power should never even put himself in a position to look guilty. So let me add that on. However, they're saying R. Kelly held these people against their will. R. Kelly is R. Kelly. Okay? This is the same man who can get on the mic and just he has sa- he has saved people through his music. He has made people feel love with his music. He has impacted the world with his music in so many different ways. And some of his music was a little bit on the, sexual side. Yes, true. So with that being said, there were so many women that would have gave the goods up to R. Kelly without him having to force them to do anything against their will. Now, I'm not saying that some of these victims are not telling the truth, but there is also evidence out there that is saying what the world has been saying. Some of these young girls who were 15, 16, 17 were exploited by their parents first. A lot of these girls' parents put them, they coached them. They would know that their daughter has somehow gotten acquainted with R. Kelly, and they would tell their parents about it, and their parents would encourage them to entice the man sexually and encourage them even further to engage in sexual acts with the man to get the money that he potentially was offering. So for me, if R. Kelly, well, since he's in jail now. Since R. Kelly went to jail and was convicted of being guilty, then all the adults around should have been held accountable as well. Most importantly, the parents. The parents should be in jail too. But beyond that, Harvey Weinstein gets a 17-year slap on the wrist, where R. Kelly gets 30 years. Let that sink in for a minute. And this is something that continuously happens in this country. White America gets all the sympathy in the world. Look at Kyle Rittenhouse, who went out there and shot people. His mother took him out there to shoot people. And what did he get? A slap on the wrist. So many different. The Casey Anthony's. And I watched that case every day with my father. Casey Anthony killed that 2-year-old little girl. So many different points of evidence were presented. And she got a slap on the wrist for killing her 2-year-old little girl, being a white woman. It's so many instances in this society where white America, first off, let's just call a spade, shall we? White America has been the biggest perpetrator of crime against America. The Europeans have been the biggest perpetrators of murder, rape, pillaging, anything you can think of. These white European people have been doing it since forever. Look at America itself. Yes, baby, you want a kiss? Look at America itself, with the pilgrims and this, that, and the third, the Christopher Columbuses and the Europeans who came over here and settled upon a landmass that was already occupied. They killed, they raped, they pillaged the people that were already here. The Europeans have done this. We can go even back into the Greco-Roman society, where they breed murder, they breed rape, they breed pedophilia. The men in Greco-Roman society have sex with other men to show societal power. The buck breaking that went back in came full circle when were manipulated and kidnapped and brought into this country. And that's when we go into the Willie Lynch's letter and things of that depiction of what took place on the slave field as far but we know that our ancestors, our sisters were raped and went through so many terrible things, having their children cut out of their bodies. There's so many different things we could get into about that discussion, but that's a whole different episode. But while the women were going through these things, the men were going through their own traumatic experiences during slavery. Of course, the lynching, the whipping, the butt breaking. Our men have suffered so much, right? I can only imagine what it was like being around all that. You know what I mean? So many people make the ignorant statement of we're not our ancestors. We won't deal with that. That's ignorant because I'm pretty sure half of us wouldn't make it if we were back on those fields. Hell, we can't even go without a cell phone for 24 hours. How the hell we gonna stand in 100-degree plus sun, picking cotton, eating scraps, having babies, having our babies took from us, back on the slave field, our men being raped, still made to be a slave for these European people. This is stuff that really happened. You would hear this and you would think like, wow, is that some type of horror movie? No, this stuff really happened. So we go back into all that with the Greco-Romans and their advocacy of pedophilia and how that translates happens here, and we look, we see the Robert Kellys, and like I said, that's what that's about. But R. Kelly was locked up, and I, for one, being of sound mind, spirit, cannot wholeheartedly agree with that man being incarcerated. If, in fact, some of these things that he was accused of are true, because we'll never really know, like for real, for real. Yeah, the media tells us what the fuck pardon me, what the media wants to tell us. Even these young women went on a documentary. Some of them were getting paid for sure. Andrea Kelly was his freaking wife. Like, if he was such a monster, sis, if he was really that such of a monster to you, why did you stay in the marriage as long as you did? Because you was reaping the financial benefit. And somewhere amongst the lines, it got lost in translation. Maybe he wasn't pulling in that much money from his career no more. Maybe he just got tired of giving all you broads his money. But I am of the firm belief that the money started running out, and these people came together and decided that they were going to tear this black man down. And in addition to the judicial system that already had to deal with the fact that they couldn't hold on to Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, come on, man. Y'all talking about Mr. Jello putting himself. Bill Cosby was not about to stay behind bars. His money too long. Bill money too long. And even with that, like I said before, them white women, Y'all was not drugged. Y'all was up in there popping pills, sniffing cocaine. Y'all did that under your own accord because that's what was happening back in the day. That's that whole, the 70s was the whole era of the hippie. And the hippie was a free loving person that did all the drugs, the shrooms, the psychedelics, whatever. They did all that. So Bill Cosby ain't had to drug no white woman to do nothing. They took them pills and they was mad because again, if the acts that were committed against you were that traumatic, why in the world did you wait 20 years? If it was that traumatic, you would have went to the police when it happened. Same way with some of these people with Kels. Now, like I said earlier, R. Kelly is a powerful man of influence. Like his music catalog way long, way long. Anybody, Michael Jackson for Pete's sake. And we could get into Michael while we at it too. Because it seems as though every one of our men that become a person of powerful influence gets demonized and gets just the media just has a field day with, oh, another thug. But Harry Weinstein was out there having all types of unconsensual sex with all everybody that came into his circumference. And that's just the he's just one of them. We're not even gonna get into the Hugh Hefners of it all. Hugh Hefner was with Brooke Shields when she was like 12. Put the girl in the magazine and everything. Had her naked at Playboy at 12. Where I mean, come on now. Yeah, I know this is a very sensitive subject because a lot of people have actually went through, occurrences of being victimized due to sexual inconsensual sex or whatever. But we just got to be real with some stuff, ladies and gentlemen. This country is built off of rape and pillaging. It is. And whereas the Kyle Rittenhouses who shot up the whole damn people out there, killing people, been brought out there by his mama, 17, walking around on the pictures, just happy as hell with his little stick hanging out of his mouth. Y'all remember the picture? Kyle Rittenhouse has some form of mental illness. Let's talk about the people that the little one that shot up the church a couple years ago. That they riding around the McDonald's or whatever. Mental illness. These little crazy ass, undisciplined ass, disrespectful ass white people, white kids that's going into the schools, shooting up the schools. They have mental illness. But when it comes to black people who actually have suffered, we the demons, we the monsters, we the criminals. Where is the empathy for a person like R. Kelly? Because I'm not saying what he did was right, but he wasn't completely wrong either. The man had what? Mental illness. He was raped as a child, and nobody saw that that young man received the help that he needed. He was begging for it. If you go to the song I Wish, which is one of the songs that has helped me out a great deal personally with some of the people I have lost. In the video, I Wish, there is an interlude, and he is talking to his deceased mother in the heavens. And he is, Mama, I need help. Mama, I don't know what to do. Mama, I want to get out. I need help. This man has been asking for help for years, and nobody gave a damn. That what they cared about? Get on that stage, boy. Sing them hits and get us this money. So R. Kelly is a victim too. He is a victim, just like a lot of my brothers are victims. Let's go into it. I said we've been on break for a while. Let's go into it. Do you know how many black men that I have conversed with privately that have told me that they were molested as children by some dusty ass broad, babysitter, auntie, even uncle, and nobody paid attention to that. Nobody cared. In fact, society tells them the younger you are, that's more of a man you're gonna be. Bull crap. Them little boys are not mentally mature enough to handle any of that. So if the girl children get the same consideration, where is the consideration for these little black boys who are getting corrupted even at birth? Oh, yeah. May piss some people off with this one, Shakti, but oh well, let's go. We are allowing our young black boys to be genitally mutilated as soon as they come out of the womb via circumcision. And y'all can miss me with the it's more sanitary. Yeah. How to First off, how the hell can you sit up there and say that it's okay for a child's sexual organ to be cut on when they are only 24 hours old? Are you sick? Would you allow your little girl to go get a part of her clitoris cut off in the guise of it is more sanitary? That is ignorance at its finest, because if you know where that practice comes from, it comes from, again, the Jews. The Jews have a ritualistic practice of where they bite the foreskin off of young black children in the form of sacrifice. Look it up for yourself. I speak no lies. So, our little black boys, mm, mm, mm. To those of you who have a son, hug your son tight, baby. We in a hell of a world that do not like your child, that will create the environment for your little black boy to feel as though he has to do certain things and behave in such ways to in order to have any type of respect as a man. And ultimately those same environments are leading to the demise of our boys. Our men are running around here over sexualized because they were raped as kids. When are we going to stand up for our family members? I am a black woman, for Pete's sake. I have a black father, I have a black brother. And you not going to tell me as their female family member that I don't have a right to speak up against what they have been through, because they can't do it. They can't say shit. Pardon my language. A black man can't say nothing if he ain't just follow. Get in line, boy. Do as you're told, boy. If a black man has any type of voice, it's taken away from him. We've seen it time and time again. Our Malcolms, our Martins. It's a very emotional thing, right? And for black women, y'all, I love y'all, right? I cannot love. I can't not love y'all. I'm a black woman. I love me. But we have to stop being so goddamn ignorant. We have to. And it's deeper than the, pick me this, pick me that. No, pick your damn family. They coming after your son. They coming after your kid. And you sitting up there twerking, worried about your lace front and your lashes and being a city girl. And I'm outside this summer. What about your son? This world is designed to destroy him. This world don't give a damn about your son. And you don't either. This shit. mm, mm, mm. Gotta be mindful of my language. My children are around. This stuff is so. Yeah, I'm parting my language. Forgive me, darling. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna say it no more. No, I'm not. Because just listen to what mommy got to say, and we'll talk about that later. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Our children, black boys and black girls alike, are suffering, and we see men like R. Kelly. It just makes me think like, what could have been done different to help him? Putting him in bars ain't helping nothing. Ain't rehabilitating nothing. That's the new slave system. So you gonna take somebody who was so important to the culture of music for black people and just put him behind bars like an animal when he had a justifiable cause to his behaviors. He was taken advantage of as a child. But since he's a black boy, that don't mean nothing. I mean nothing. Because black boys don't matter in this country. So we really have to look at what white America does and what black America does. White America could get away with everything. They get away with murder every single goddamn day. It's what they do. They cannibals. They cannibals. Over there in the Caucasus Mountains, they was eating each other. Where you think that stuff come from? That's all they know is death, destruction, rape, murder, pillage. That's all they know. But they get slap on the wrist. Martha Stewart, send her the Camp Cupcake. What type of jail called Camp Cupcake? Martha Stewart was in there with her feet kicked up with a goddamn on latte, watching her stocks and shit. She just went on vacation. It, this is sad, yo. I did not really go into the whole R. Kelly thing when it first came about because I know that it's a sensitive subject. Even with Bill Cosby, kind of remained quiet on that. Harvey Weinstein, remained quiet on that. But I've been sitting back observing. Harvey Weinstein, are you serious? 17 years? And he just the tip of the iceberg. We're not gonna get into the Jeffrey Epsteins of them all. We're not gonna get into all that. Poor little R. Kelly was made an example of. Because white America been real pissed ever since OJ walked away. Ever since OJ walked away. And when was that? 94? I think that was 94 when that all took place. And I was born in 87, so I was a little girl. I was like 7 years old. But the black community was it. OJ, if it can't fit, you must quit. And he gotta quit it. And the whites was mad. They was mad. Oh, they know they had them a nigga then. They know they had one. And the white woman at that, and her little Jewish boyfriend or whatever he was, that black man walked away from that. Although OJ, OJ, why you know they was gunning for you? Why you keep doing stuff to have them people messing with you, OJ? You walked away from something they none of us been able to walk away from. But they was mad at OJ. When now they about to come after the greatest black father icon on television that we ever had. Y'all coming after Jello Pudding, Mr. Jello Pudding, Cosby, over some ugly ass dog looking white women who was taking them pills willingly. They was probably offering Bill the drugs. Now, Bill, again, you shouldn't have been messing with them white girls, Bill. See what happened when black men mess with them white girls. Shouldn't did that. But Bill Cosby had Bill Cosby money, so he wasn't gonna sit down for too long. Now we got R. Kelly. God dang it, R. Kelly. This ain't some typical singer. This R. Kelly. Oh, he got off once. We ain't letting him go this time. But how many white men get away with it every day? How many? How many white women get away with it every day? White America and black America is two different things. And for those black people who think that this is one country and we all included, I'm gonna need you to stop falling for the okie doke, the false illusion of inclusion, baby. Integration was nothing more than to put the damn nail in the coffin. We was thriving when we was amongst ourselves. We ain't had no choice but to support each other then. When we blacks only, whites only, great. We gonna go this way. We gonna build. Oh, y'all not gonna build too much because we gonna bomb Black Wall Street now. We gonna get the move moving out of Philadelphia too. And this is where brother Martin Luther King knew he went wrong. And when he started talking that real, when he sat down and really looked at it, and he said, I integrated my people into a burning house, he started to switch his conversation up. We can't have this docile Negro too. We already got rid of Malcolm. Now this one trying to start. Get rid of his ass too. Any black man that has had a voice is gone. So listen to me and listen to me clearly. Any black man that is out here speaking for our people and ain't nothing happening to him, you gotta know it's something that is okay with that. Pay attention. Take the veil off your eyes. Don't let these Sambos make you fall victim. We got some stuff we got to do. And I for one, let the games begin. We playing with the honor of us, the Nat Turners. That's a powerful ancestor right there. They had to they ain't had no choice. Nat said, look, with this Bible in my hand at all, you gonna have to take me and mine down. And that's what Nat did. The courage in that man. The Pat Lamumbas. Hell, the Malcolm X's. So I understand why some of us afraid. I get it. We seen our people slaughtered like dogs. We see our people pushed into the jail system, incarcerated unfairly. While these clear folk, these translucent people walking around like ain't nothing wrong. You even got some of them bold enough to, and I done had plenty of altercations with them. You got some of these white people that's bold enough to say to me, I don't owe you nothing. Y'all don't deserve it. What? Who you talking to, Billy? Billy. Last I checked, them lights you got was from my people. Last I checked, this whole country was from my people, Billy. But we let them get away with it. We let them get away with it. It's too many buck dancing Negroes out here that want to be included so bad that they let these white people down talk and degrade them and treat them like dogs still and won't say a word. But when it comes to their own brother and sister, they ready to take them out the game. You whack as hell, in my opinion. You don't get no respect from me. I'm a woman and I'm looking for the warrior class. Like, where you at? That's right. My baby agree with me. Where y'all at? Y'all too busy chasing these white women who gonna take you for all your worth at the end of the day or get you in jail. Hello, Bill Cosby. Y'all too busy trying to be women, running around here with your penises tucked. Why you want to tuck something that's I mean, you got the biggest one walking the face of this planet. That's why the white men hate you so much. In all seriousness, though, we need to really like take it to consideration before we become the own. We hang our own publicly so much. We call them guilty so much. That's why when they do go in these courthouses, we make it easy for them instead of us getting on cold. You see, when Harvey Weinstein was going through it, the majority of them white folk was on hush hush. And Weinstein is a Jewish last name, so you know them Jews was saying that. When it's an Asian, when it's a dang on even a Latino, when they own is going through it, they on cold. Even if they don't agree, they silent. Not us. The black feminists was going crazy when they found out about R. Kelly and Bill Cosby too. That was the Me Too move. Oh, they was just going that they was having a field day. And this is what's gonna lead us to our next episode because uh Gail, Oprah, and Kamala, I got something for y'all too. I got something. It's coming up. Trust me. This is leading into a whole series. The black feminist was just, yeah, he did it. He's raw. Oh my God. He did it. Can't stand him. Another black man going to jail. Woo-hoo-hoo. Girl, if you don't shut your hateful behind up somewhere and go be accountable for your healing, can't it ain't our fault that you keep trying to deal with these street niggas and drug dealers and having million babies by a million men and running to the abortion clinic as a form of birth control. Girl, sit down. Sit your ignorant tail down, city girl. You a big reason why our black men are turning out this way. You're not raising your sons. You can't even raise a man for real. You're supposed to nurture him. You don't even know how to nurture nothing. Can't even nurture a damn plant. You call yourself raising a young black man, and then when his father try to help, nah, you don't want me no more, so you can't be with me. You can't be around my child, girl. You're not even qualified. You depending on the public school system to educate your children, black woman. You can't even teach your kids yourself. You can't even cook your way. You can't even cook a home cooked meal. You so busy focusing on goddamn on rotel and tacos. It is sad. Peace and love, Mama Cherie. Kale, okra, and kombucha. Yes, absolutely. We got to do better. We got to do better. I'm so terrified for my nephews. I'm so terrified for my little black boy cousins. I'm so terrified for these black boys out here. Because I done heard too many stories. I done seen too many things. And this world has it out against these black boys. Wanna know why? Black girls too. I ain't never leaving my babies out the equation. But the black boys grow up into black men. And black men become the warriors. So they start while they young with the circumcision. Let's just take away a piece of their manhood right now. You cutting off nerves that is infiltrating their manhood. but we don't see it that way. Oh, Big Pharma told us it's the right thing to do. Big Pharma don't want your black boy growing up to be powerful. When will we really just be like, hold on, man. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Polo R. Kelly, it's a wrap. Sadly, we still got his music, so I guess we'll rock out that way. But we need to know that there was so many different elements in play with that R. Kelly case. It wasn't just the fact that he put himself in a position of looking guilty with underage girls. And some of those cases he was targeted too. Them parents was all over it. Soon as they got whiffed of, hey man, guess who I had a chance to meet today? Oh, honey, I got a chance to meet R. Kelly. Are you serious? Hmm. Let mommy tell you something. You got a chance to meet R. Kelly again? Yeah, he want to hear my music. Okay, so when you go back, this what you gonna do? You want to help our family, right? You want to help our family get better, don't you? Yes, mom. Well, we gonna need you to go in there and do this to R. Kelly. What? Mom want to do? Girl, don't you want to help your family get better? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you how to win. If you tell me that's not how some of them conversations went, okay, I guess I don't know nothing. But we gotta do better. Yeah, it's clear. America is first of all what America looks like to them. America ain't that for us. What the American dream was never about us to begin with. The only part we had to play in the American dream was to build it for them to benefit from. But yeah, so who we uh dropped the connection there for a minute. Sorry about that. Don't like the dead air space. But yeah, I definitely felt compelled to do this message tonight because it's really a sad reality, really sad. And I'm sorry to all of us in this society who have to be victims of PTSD and seeing all of these circumstances take place, knowing that other people are getting treated better than us, are getting treated like actual humans, while we're looked at like monsters. And with that being said, I'm going to end this for tonight. I appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you for interacting in the comment section. Shout out to Mama Cherie. Love that sister. Reed's Learning Street. Got a surprise coming from that particular way very soon. Shout out to King the Swimmer doing his thing in the swimming world. You know, just the sky's the limit with him. Shout out to the Young My Joy, the artist. She's doing her thing. Also want to um, give a shout out to Poetic Justice over at the Love is the Law podcast. You can check that out on Spotify. And I also must end it with this. Thank you to my family for making me who I am today. The black men in my life, thank you so much for supporting me. My father, my brothers, and so many more. And also my children, for they are the biggest source of strength that I have, the biggest source of motivation and inspiration for me. Thank you so much. And also shout out to Taji Dairul of Writer Cooperative Industries, and also his wife Didi Dairul. They're doing great things over at RCI as far as renewable energy goes and just being active in the community. So thank you all. And again, from my family to yours, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Peace, love, and Black power.